Okay, all that said, let's finally give out some grades here, man. Let's start with the offense first. So, 289 passing yards, 81 rushing yards for a total of 370 yards, 6.5 yards per play, 18 first downs. We were only 3 of 10 on third down. Fourth down efficiency, though, was 1 of 1. Time of possession was 31 minutes and 38 seconds, and there was one turnover in this game. So, Chris, I'll just start with you. Your offensive letter grade.
May not be popular, but I'm gonna go C plus.
Okay.
I don't think they were very effective. They had a lot of really stupid penalties, and the reason it's a plus instead of just a C was that huge play by Will Howard on fourth down that got our one conversion. So C plus for me.
Cory.
I was going to actually head to C plus. I'm going B minus officially because I give Texas a curve here. Texas is a really tough defense, and they have beasts in the middle of the offense. Some standout performances like by Donnie Jackson, who just had a phenomenal performance on that line. The interior line struggled a little bit, but again, I'm trying to be a little lenient with them. But I agree with Chris. Stupid penalties bring the thing down. A turnover wasn't really that effective. We had two really good drives that whole game, notwithstanding the 75-yard fluke. And I say fluke because how often does that happen before a half? Even though Trey Henderson is that kind of player and he is that capable of doing those things. And by the way, if you look at that play a little bit closer, I was looking at some of the close-ups of it. It wasn't just a great blocking and the wedge out there. He actually made a guy miss badly in the middle of that gap. And Trey is just special. I'm going to miss Trey Henderson. So I just wanted to point that out. I'm going to miss Trey Henderson. That dude is flat out freaking special. And he is going to make an NFL team very, very happy because he's the most bang for your buck running back in this running back class. Get the ball 10 times, you'll still get you 120 yards total and 2 touchdowns. Just he's such a playmaker. Undervalued in my opinion a little bit. But that being said, blocking was discombobulated at times. Will Howard, I think, got lost in coverages at times. Was not didn't really know what he was looking at sometimes. They took Smith completely out of the game with their bracketing. Run game was okay, but not as consistent as I'd like. And again, Texas is a really good defense. So I'll say B minus, just on a curve.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a B. I'm a little bit higher on it than you guys. The rushing success rate in this one was nearly 50%, which that's about average. That's kind of where you want to be at. So it really was just the penalties and a few drop passes that just kind of held them back. So the way I look at it, when they needed their offense the most, they went down the field and they scored and put them up 21-14. It wasn't just a field goal or anything like that. Ryan Day didn't get conservative. Chip Kelly didn't get conservative there and be like, oh, let's call it. G. Scott got some yards, but let's kick a field goal here or something like that. Because if that would have happened, then Texas wouldn't have tried to go for it on fourth down, and Jack Sawyer wouldn't have had his play. But they were aggressive. They trusted their guys, and also too, I mean, like you said, graded on a curve, Cory. I agree because I have to grade on the curve of Jeremiah Smith was just not there at all for pretty much the entire game. Will Howard tried to force one and turn into an interception, which I obviously did not like. But I felt like after that happened, Ryan Day and Chip Kelly were just like, all right, Jeremiah Smith, you're a decoy for the rest of the game. And they didn't try to force it to him. They didn't try to get it to him in ways that were going to be detrimental to their team. They were content with going to Cardinal Tate. They were content going to Emeka Ibuka and guys like Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins. Quinshon Judkins didn't have the best stat day out there, but you look at all-purpose yards, Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins, they almost had 200 yards together. Now, a lot of that is a 75-yard play, but still, together, the two of them, they almost had 200 yards. So I agree with you guys. There's a lot to look at and not be happy about, but I felt like they faced some adversity, and when they needed them most in the offense, they showed up. So I'm going to give credit for that.
Skeeter from the Woodswater Mizzou podcast gifted. He's passing on the love here, paying it forward. He's gifted a 1 month membership to the Glass City Buck. So welcome, thank you, Skeeter, for that, and welcome, Glass City Buck. Hope you find the what we do here positive and worth continuing to pay for another month. Adam Dowling points out that this championship game would not exist if we were in the 14 playoff. Absolutely. That is absolutely true. And those who are complaining about the 12-team playoff, all you got to do is win your games. Penn State almost went to this thing. Penn State almost got to a national championship because they won their games until they didn't because James Franklin. But I digress. By the
Talk
way,
about they call us soft all the times, and yet all the people who lost are complaining that the playoffs had too many teams in it.
yeah, except for Alabama and Ole Miss, why are they complaining that there's too?
They're complaining there's not enough teams. Yeah.
Exactly. So no matter how many, if this thing goes up to 16, then teams 17, 18 are going to complain,
Yeah.
right? But at the end of the day, you want the two teams who are the best two at the end of the year playing for a national championship. It is, guys, this is Super Bowl light. I don't know what else to say to people. This is how things go in the NFL, and no one complains that the NFL playoffs is unfair. So why
Is anybody
are we
complaining
do
about
that
the
here?
blowouts in the NFL playoffs right now?
I mean, I don't watch Cory, so I have no idea.
By the
I
time it's over, we'll be at 68 teams.
Yeah. So, anyways, my grade is I'm going to go with a B minus. Bobby Mack with a $5 super chat. I believe JTT and Sawyer both have played themselves into the first round, giving us 5 first rounders. Who else do you think improved draft stock? Definitely Jack. What about Denzel Burke? I think his draft stock's improved. I know he had the one bad game, but
I don't know. He was. They say he's battling an injury this past game. Didn't barely play, so I don't know if he improved it yet.
They said he got injured on that tackle he tried to make, where the guy he was in zone coverage. The guy got away from him in front of him, and apparently he.
I believe it. Some people are trying to say he got benched for that, and I was like, he didn't get benched for one play.
No. Will Howard's draft stock, says Ryan Daysbeard. Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. He's definitely gonna be drafted. Definitely.
Oh, of course.
I still don't think right now.
I'll tell you. I know. Donovan Jackson's draft stock is through the roof right now.
Yes.
I think he's played himself in the first round.
He's a first rounder. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see.
As a tackle, by the way.
Cody Simon's draft stock.
Oh,
absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Cody Simon's.
Tyler Williams.
Stayed the same, in my opinion.
Maybe yeah.
He's been a late first rounder pretty much the entire time.
That's fair. Yeah, I was going to say that Oregon game, he looked like such a monster. I was like, geez, man.
Maybe Ransom?
I think Ransom definitely. If we didn't have Caleb Downs, we'd be talking about Ransom as one of the top 5 safeties in the country, which he is. But we don't talk about him.
He missed 3 tackles in this game, and
which is unlike him.
Right, and you still look at it and say he had a great game. That's how you know, like, somebody really made an impact. They missed 3 tackles in one game, and you still look at it and say, that guy had a great game.
I think Ransom's a guy who'd be a 10-year starter at the next level, while Downs is probably an all-pro at the next level type thing.
Yeah.
This, you know what? Now that I'm over here watching YouTube, I really wish Evie Mux would do it this way.
Yeah, this is
so
amazing.
much better. Yeah, this is so much better. It tells you how long you've been a member, like C-Dub, member for 6 months. He said
PFF still has Donovan Jackson as a 3rd rounder.
That's crazy. He says, great job, Eric and team. Thank you, C-Dub. Appreciate that, man. Coconut gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, Coconut. Let's see who they went to. Big Ten football talk. All right. There we go. Zach Guggenheim got one. DOT, Jennifer got memberships here. So that is fantastic. Michael Treese was gifted a membership. Did I miss one? I must have missed one. Not sure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Coconut, that's awesome, man. Let's see here. Ryan Daysbeard. Eric, are you going to have John on? Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
We are efforting for Kennedy to be with us live next Sunday night. If he's not going to the national championship game, I'm going to ask him to be live with us Sunday. If he is, or he can't do that, we may change up Thursday night and have him live with us Thursday, possibly, instead of doing a call-in show. Or maybe we do both. That would be wild.
Have Kennedy on call-in?
Yeah. D-Rock Irish is with us. That's one of Kennedy's boys. Good evening, OSU. Quite a battle for Notre Dame to attempt and defeat Ohio State. I think this should be close for the majority of the game. We
I
shall
agree with that.
see. We shall see. Fantastic, though. Brian Oberst, good to see you, buddy. Okay, let's keep rocking and rolling here. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball now. Passing yards allowed, 283. Rushing yards allowed. And circle this, highlight this. This is the game right here. 58 yards. That's it. And we told everybody Texas had to run the ball if they were going to beat us.
Yep.
Total yards allowed, 341. Yards per play, only 5. First downs allowed, 20. Third down efficiency, 5 of 15. Fourth down efficiency, 1 of 3. Time on the field, 28 minutes and 22 seconds, but 2 turnovers. Interesting of note, Texas had more first downs and they were better on third down than we were. However, 2 turnovers and couldn't run the ball. That, at the end of the day, really killed Texas. Your defensive letter grade, Chris.
You know what? I got to go with an A. I mean, this is a potent offense
Yeah.
that we made look anemic. You know, and I feel like we did a great job. Yeah, we had a few lapses. Yeah, they got a few plays here and there, but for the most part, Ohio State controlled this game defensively. I got to give them an A.
Yeah, I'm going A as well. I mean, it's just again they kept us in the game when our offense was sputtering, and they were time. How many time we were counting it on the live watch? It's like, oh, they did 5 for 5 after 5 drives. They've kept them out of the end zone, out of the field goal range. They really got 4 sacks, 9 tackles for loss, or something like that. I
Yeah,
mean, whatever they have done to fix the pressure issue after Oregon, brava to Knowles and Johnson, because they have become the best pressure team in the country. They get pressure on every quarterback now, just with their front 4 often. Jack and JT have, I don't know what superpowers or whatever they drank going into the playoffs, or what they roided up, whatever. They are just on another level. And Cody Simon, of course, is still great and playing great. The secondary is playing well. I mean, the only reason why I don't say A plus, because they I mean, granted, they try to keep it in front of them. I get it, but that check down in the wheel routes were killing them most of the night. But you can't cover everything. I'm not gonna completely rip them for that. But yeah, A, man, that this defense is elite.
A plus, because Texas in the fourth quarter, punt, fumble, interception.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we complained about no turnovers? How many times have we complained about in the fourth quarter this defense, loses their steam, they're not fresh, all this stuff? They had a 3 and out in the fourth quarter. They drove 10 plays, 58 yards that ended in that Jack Sawyer fumble recovery for a touchdown, and then Quinn Ewers only threw the ball. He actually had some time left there, almost 2 minutes left. He threw the ball on their third play, threw an interception to Caleb Downs. There was absolutely no chance after that. Very little chance after the Jack Sawyer play, but still, absolutely no chance after that. And I can't say enough good things about this defense. I do want to ask you guys' opinion on the linebackers though, because when I did some like position grades on the Big Ten huddle after everything was over, and I gave a C plus to the linebackers, and people were telling me that I was being too harsh on them. My biggest thing was it felt like Sark was doing obvious things with the running backs and other and like tight ends and stuff like that. And the linebackers weren't good in coverage. Now, Sonny Styles absolutely destroyed that tight end, and Sark is yelling for a targeting penalty, which, by the way, can you imagine how many people would be saying Ryan Day is soft if he does that? But Sark does it, and nobody cares. And so, they made up for it, and the defensive line had 4 balls batted down. I want to say 3 of those 4 balls that were batted down were throws to the running back that would have been big completions for Texas because our linebackers just weren't covering them. I don't know if they didn't know what their responsibilities were or what, but for me, like, yes, Sonny Styles had a great game, couple tackles for loss, a sack, stuff like that, but at the end of the day, like, if I'm Notre Dame, I'm looking at that and I'm saying Riley Leonard can't throw the ball more than 5 yards. Throw it to the running back. Throw it to the running back every single time because the linebackers aren't covering them because they're going on blitzes instead. I'm curious you guys' thoughts on the linebackers.
Well, I agree with you somewhat. And not only that, but Sonny had good numbers, but didn't have a great game. I feel like he was out of position a few times, took a couple bad angles, as well as what you're talking about with the poor coverage. Now I think the rest of the defense made up for it. But yeah, I would say that they definitely were attacking the linebackers. And that's something we're going to have to watch because, if you picked it up or if I saw it, then Marcus Freeman's definitely seen it. So
This is going to be a big linebacker game against Notre Dame.
To me, JR, you're right, but I also chalk it up to this is how Sark operates. I'm just going to say it one time, tough Borland on Devon A. Smith. I know Kerry Combs never meant to have that coverage, but Sark knows how to get those matchups. And he knew how to attack our linebackers in coverage. And Sonny Styles was out of position a couple times. The check down was killing us, like I was saying. But I think that's more Sark than it is. Well, let's just say it's even. We didn't cover well, but Sark is also really good at attacking linebackers in coverage.
that hurt, Cory. Just so you know, that hurt. Why would you even bring that up?
I had to make a point. It drew blood. I'm sorry.
I hear you, JR, and I believe that this game, Cory's right. I think Sark was putting pressure on what he viewed as the weakest part of our defense, and we still only gave up 21 or 14 points.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is going to be another big game for the linebackers because Notre Dame is going to test. They're going to test how tough this defense is up front. I mean, let's be honest. And how they're going to do it is going to be a little bit unique, in my opinion, because they're going to allow their quarterback to use his legs, I think, as much as humanly possible in this game. And you guys all know that one thing that scares me and that scares a lot of fans is running quarterbacks against this defense. It seems to have been the Achilles heel. And so if we're going to win it all, we're going to have to do it trying to, stop the one thing that has actually hurt us in a quarterback who's got some wheels.
One thing I will say to that, though, how many quarterbacks is Jack Sawyer hurt?
I was going to say, they better have their second string guy ready.
I'm not rooting for Riley Leonard to get hurt, but all I'm going to say is if you run at your own risk, buddy, at your own risk.
Yeah, well, Sonny Styles ain't afraid to lower the boom, and Cody Simon will crack a helmet or two. So,
since when?
Since Tennessee. Too bad it won't be cold out.
It won't be cold enough, yeah.
In that dome.